Today's guest is living proof that age and having a 9 to 5 doesn't have to hold you back from trading success. This interview is going to be with Mustafa, one of my students in the VWAP Wave System. Mustafa just turned 21 years old, works a full-time job in London, England, and still found a way to make trading work for him. After trying other strategies, he found the VWAP Wave System. He joined our group and went all in. It's important to note he wasn't just studying the setups. He was committed to spending time internalizing the system itself. Mustafa was impressively dropping daily recaps in the community, breaking down multiple major markets like a professional. To this day, he's still doing that. And here's the kicker. By only his third month in the group, he locked in his very first $4,500 payout with Topstep. That's discipline, structure, and commitment truly paying off. So let's dive right in, and here's my interview with Mustafa. So here we are. We're with Mustafa, one of our OG members in the Drysdale Trading Group. So glad to have him with us today. He's been such a wonderful member of the group, just a great participant, always active, always helping others, always asking, helping others with questions. He's also doing our market recaps. He's always on top of doing gold and oil and the ES markets, showing us where the setups came to fruition in those markets. So he's been really dialed in, working really hard at getting this thing. I also know he works full time. So I think this will be a great story, kind of hear from Mustafa, how he came from joining us and getting his first payout, which I think he just got a couple of weeks ago, right, Mustafa?
Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I got my first payout with the system after being in the group for about 3, 4 months, which I
Yeah.
think is a great result. Um, Having been through a lot of groups and a lot of systems, it's some positive feedback straight away.
Yeah. So give us a little background, Mustafa. I know you're based in the UK. Tell me a little
Yeah,
bit about just how you got to trading, what's your background, and then ultimately what led you to us.
yeah, sure thing. So I started properly trading January 2024. So it's quite easy for me to keep track of how long I've been trading. So it's been about a year and a half now. Um, and I got into it. It's because of my brother actually. Because I was looking for some side of for some sort of side income, and he just randomly said, "Oh, have you looked at trading?" And I was like, "Oh, that looks cool. I like the idea, the potential of trading to make that little bit of extra money on the side." But little did I know that it's not an easy game to win at.
Right.
Let's just say that.
Hardest way to make easy money.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, the first couple of months, I had the rose tinted glasses on. I was like, "Oh, this is the easiest money I've made in my life. This is gonna be. I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna I'm gonna have my Lambos. Gonna all the good stuff." But yeah, no, I pretty quickly got brought back down to reality. Um, I mean, yeah, it was. I went through a lot of different systems. I started on EMAs, and then that didn't go too well. I went into SMC, Smart Money Concepts, which is just random gibberish put together. I didn't find no consistency in those systems. I mean, it was just random stuff put in my charts. And then if it looked all right, then I took it. But most of the time, it wouldn't go well.
Hmm.
Um, so I spent a good part, 6 months, 7 months doing that, and I got pretty annoyed at it, to be honest. I took a bit of a step back, and I was like, I'm just gonna focus on other stuff, do my work, like that, just a bigger break. And then I came back around November, September time again. And I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to give this a proper try, not properly research stuff, properly backtest, properly journal, stuff that serious traders do. Um, and I found it I found my love for it again, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I got burnt out from it, and now I'm like, okay, I want to do this again. I like the potential. If I keep at it, I'm sure it'll work. Um, and around that time, I was also trading forex as well. I did a bit of research onto in forex, and I didn't like the idea of the brokers manipulating the
Hmm.
spreads, that those kinds of shenanigans. And that's when I found, I looked up alternatives, and naturally that leads you to futures, because it's practically the same thing, but you just don't have the brokers messing around with your orders and spreads and that type of stuff. And that, looking into futures as well, and that got me looking at volume based indicators, VWAP, volume profile. So at the December, January time, I was just looking at figuring out, because I was my train of thought with it was, this is kind of like under the hood.
Hmm.
It tells you what's actually going on with price, and it just logically makes sense to me as well. There's more people interacting here, so price should also do something there as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
um so I went through a lot of content on volume profile, a lot of back testing. But yeah, I didn't have a system with it. That was the problem. I was just kind of discretionarily taking trades, which just
Right.
meant whatever looked nice. Really, there's no setups. There was no train of thought to it. It's just show up to the charts, no pre-market, no anything, just show up. Oh, it went to that level, and let me take it.
100%.
Um, and that's when I found out your group, Chris. Um, and to be honest, so the first video that I watched of yours, it was talking about the 4 setups. It was one of your earlier videos,
Hmm.
and you said something in it, which it made a lot of sense to me, but I'd never really thought about it. Which was, if you don't have a name setup, don't take it.
Hmm.
If you don't have your playbook, then you're just taking random trades. And I was like, oh, duh. What? Then I'm just randomly trading if I don't follow the system. But yeah, then I went through a lot of your content, a lot of and it all just made sense, and I
Hmm.
started implementing it, and I've seen a lot of good feedback, straight away. Winning trades, higher winning percentage, that type of stuff.
Right.
So yeah,
It's wild because, I went through a lot of material myself. I was a student of the markets and I still am, right? I
yeah,
digested a ton of content and I spent a lot of money on courses, and some that were really good and I learned a lot, but I still never walked away with a playbook. And,
yeah, yeah,
so we're talking about taking good trades and setups, and, these same guys would be talking about setups and A plus, but I never really knew what one looked like, or, how do I put my playbook together? So I felt like that was always something missing from a lot of these systems.
100% agree with you
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I don't know why it's not a
I
thing,
don't
to
know
be
why it's
honest.
so elusive. I
It
really
makes
don't.
sense. Like, you need a
Yeah.
playbook, no?
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, once you got started, did you see some better success with scalping, or did you try and hold your trades longer? Did you gravitate to any of the particular setups? Tell me a little bit about your kind of your personalizing the system, because as we know, it's discretionary and it's adaptable.
Definitely.
So I'd love to hear how you kind of made it your own.
Yeah, I mean, I played around. I played with it a lot. Um, I went through. I did my confirmation entries type of bug test, and I was like, okay, this is good, but it doesn't really fit my life. It's
Hmm.
not. It's not. My work doesn't allow me to be there when the setup's short. So I need quick scalping style.
Right, because you work full time, so
Get
you're not
in,
always
yeah.
able to sit and watch the charts, right?
No, definitely not.
Hmm.
So if I'm sitting down in a session, I need to have my trades done then, which is why I gravitate more towards scalping. So obviously first touch method, that was like that that makes sense to me. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna enter there, if it goes lower, add, and take my base hits, and it
Mm-hmm.
all adds up in the end. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I just fit the system to my lifestyle, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quick scalps, in and out,
Mm-hmm.
kind
Are there any
much
setups you
more.
like better than others? Are you more of a
Um,
fader or a price discovery type trader? Where do you seem to thrive?
I think if I look at my journals and my past trades, I do better at price discovery type, so momentum trades, because I like getting in with multiple contracts and holding a few, makes sense to me.
Okay.
But obviously this is still quite short term, within the session. Um, yeah, I mean, but with the system actually, I noticed this. I was never good at range trading,
Mm-hmm.
but now I'm a lot more comfortable with it as well. So, I like my momentum trades more, but I can do my range trades, my balanced markets fine as well.
Mm-hmm.
They make sense to me. You know, uh, I can see it a lot better. I can notice it before
And what are
we
you
make a big
using
move.
specifically to help you notice a balanced market versus a market that's trending or in price discovery?
Yeah, I mean, besides the VWAP system, I do a bit of pre-market as well,
Mhm.
pre-market analysis. So I look at how London went, I look at how Globex went, and I see if if we were ranging pretty much the whole day, all of Globex, that sort of gives me a little bit of an idea of what's going to come in New York. Obviously, that's not always the case, um, but I just mark out my key levels, and I make my hypothesis or my theory on those. So if it breaks above that, let's say if it breaks above a level on NQ or on ES, then I know, okay, we're most likely to see some more
Mhm.
continuation in this, in this move. So yeah, I found that process to really help me identify in what type of market we're in. It's helped me a lot with it.
Awesome. So, do you find there was from the time you started, it took you about three
Yeah,
months to get to a payout. Did you
yeah.
find, was there anything along that journey from day one to month three where you felt like things were starting to click? Were you seeing more green days, more consistency? Were you finding trading being a little less stressful? Was there more clarity? Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, when yeah, trading was quite stressful before this, because I was just kind of, trying to find my next setup wherever it came. But with the system, I can now kind of see when the setups are going to happen before they happen, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
So I can prepare for it a lot better. So I'm not stressed. And if my emotions are a lot more in check. I'm not feeling some kind of like wild fear or wild greed when we suddenly pop through level or do something, because I know what to do after. If we break a level, we test it like view up upper bound, then I know that price discovery. Um, so that being said, it's just made me a lot more calm when I'm sitting down at the desk, and obviously that's what you want to be when you're risking money. You want to be calm. You want to be collected, know where your head is at. Um, so I think that helped me a lot in getting my payout. I was I felt more consistent. And I was more into the process of it as well. I was focused on the process a lot more.
Huh?
I didn't
100%.
didn't think about the overall P&L. Actually, on Topstep X, you can block out like all your P&Ls. Um, yeah, all the monetary uh, amount that it shows you. I've blocked those out, so I don't
Yeah.
look at it. I don't
I
think
do that
about
quite
it.
a bit as well.
It
Like you
is, yeah,
guys can
it's
see it, but I don't have it on my own screen. I'm not even
yeah,
looking
that's
at
it.
it.
It helps a lot. Obviously,
Yeah.
I still have my targets for the day and my max loss for the day because we have to manage our risk. But
Right.
it, that's that part of the process really helped me a lot.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what it was like. And you got the payout with Topstep, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And how much was the payout for?
So it was 1,500 multiplied by three, so 4,500.
Okay, that's a
And
nice little payday, isn't it?
it was, yeah, I was
Yeah,
very very happy with it.
yeah, awesome.
Giddy.
I'm big on transparency. Let's talk a little bit
Of
about
course,
that journey, right? How many accounts
sure.
did you blow? How many
Ooh.
combines did you have to go through, right? I'm sure you
Yeah.
just didn't buy these accounts and go straight through a payout, right? It's a
No, no, of
process
course
for
not.
most.
It's I definitely lost a few accounts, let's say.
Yeah,
Um, to I haven't really kept count of it, but it must have been 4 or 5 combines blown, at least 1 or 2 XFAs,
yeah.
gone um to XFA heaven, or hell. It depends how
Hmm.
you see it. So yeah, but one thing that I've gone in the habit of doing every time I blow one of these combines or XFAs, I write down why did it happen, in the hopes that when I revisit it, I can, I can rationale it. I can say, oh, okay, I was way too greedy in that situation. That's why I was way too over leveraged. And that I keep that in my mind going into my next one, so I don't do that mistake again. Obviously, it still happens because we're all human, but
We are human.
um, yeah, but you know, if you have it in your mind a lot, you try and not do it as much. If that makes sense.
Right, absolutely. And we have to understand prop firms are a little bit of a different game, right? They
Yeah,
are
agreed.
typically they are traded a little bit differently than a cash account, because we'd have different rules that apply in prop firms that wouldn't apply in a cash account. Most of which
Of
would
course.
keep us more risk mitigated. However,
Yeah.
you could still be up net overall in profits and still blow an account, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Because
it's
you have the money you made in the combine. Now you're in
of
an
course. Yeah,
XFA. If you blew the XFA, technically you still are up because of the combine profits, right? So if
yeah,
that were a
yeah.
cash account, you would still be up, right? So there's
100% agreed.
important nuances
Um,
of that.
I think it's important to look at it on a more macro scale than one combine, one XFA. I
Mhm.
think it's smart to have a look at your whole history of what you've gone through. Um, you know, blown combine, blown XFAs, payouts, and the net figure of that should tell you, are you profitable yet or not?
Right,
Um, and then yeah, obviously that's gonna give you a bit of a better idea of how you're gonna do in a live account.
right. And now, I believe you lost those funded accounts,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Which is, guys, not uncommon, right? You got your
Yeah,
first
yeah,
payout and then we lost them, right? But
I,
then you
yeah, yeah.
pass some more, right? And now you're already
Yeah,
well in the money on your second set of
yeah,
XFAs,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I took a pretty big chunk um out of those accounts. I didn't leave myself much drawdown.
which I'm
Um,
fine with, right? We want that money in our bank,
I,
not theirs. So,
yeah, pretty much, pretty much. To be fair, yeah, I did get close to second payout on it, but it's water under the bridge now. It's
water
gone.
under the bridge.
But yeah, it's important to get back on your feet. I had a rough weekend when when I lost those XPs. I was like,
Yeah.
it was on a Friday as well. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
the
I'm such an
worst.
idiot.
Fridays.
I'm such an idiot. I'm never going to do this again. But obviously, that Monday, I want to get back into it.
Right.
So,
You're
yeah,
back into it, guys, because I just saw on Friday you had a great Friday on
yeah, yeah.
that new XFA. We had a big sell off out of the open. It looks like you were involved and
I
you caught a
was,
nice
yeah,
move.
got in early.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, take it slow, take it slow to the next payout. That's the plan.
absolutely. I'm behind you. So, what I've found, not just in my own journey, but with other traders is one of the first thing that happens is you start passing the combines, right? You get better at
Yeah,
passing combines, but you're getting these XFAs and you're or the funded accounts and you're blowing them, right? That's typically what happens. And then you get your
exactly.
first payout and then you blow the funded account, right? So it's this process, but there's tangible proof of progress, right?
Yeah,
Where once it was hard to just pass the combine, now that's kind of the easy
of
part,
course.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, every time I go into a combine, I'm kind of like I'm expecting to pass it, and
Exactly.
I I definitely don't have the same emotions I used to
Hmm.
when I opened up Topstep X, combine there.
Right.
The nervousness isn't there as much, and yeah, and to be honest, it's getting to that point in the exit phase as well. I'm not excited at the sight of that gold XFA on the top left there.
Yeah, right. It's
Yeah,
anxiety inducing.
it's yeah. But yeah, it's been getting better with it,
Yeah.
more comfortable in that type of environment as well, which is
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a sign of good progress.
So tell me a little bit about how you prep to trade because you do work full time. So I think it would be
Yeah,
great to share a little bit about, with your work schedule, when do you trade and how do you focus
sure.
and take time and how do you prepare to do that?
Yeah. So I work a 9 to 5, and I have half my days at home, half of my days in the office. So
Mhm.
depending on my schedule, I trade it different every day. Um, So, if for example, well, let's just start with this first of all. I always trade London. I'm always up early, up at half six, 7.
Mhm.
I'm doing my, Asia analysis, seeing what happened there, ranging, price discovery, what could sort of happen in the next, in the next hour or so.
Mhm.
And then I usually take a few scalps in London session to try and build a bit of a buffer for the afternoon for the New York session when the real moves happen and where the volatility kicks in.
Mhm.
Because yeah, you can lose your account or lose the day really quickly in New York. So
Right.
I just try and get a couple, small, really small scalps, $50, 75, 100, that type of stuff. Try and build it up to like 200 bucks for New York.
Sure.
Now I always try and do that. If if I have to go in the office, if I have to be engaged at work, then I'm usually just leaving it at that. Maybe once in a while I'll come back from work, look at the markets. I see a really nice setup. I'll trade it in the lounge with the guys and girls there. And yeah, I just sort of carry on with
Mhm.
that. But if I'm at home, I'm trading New York session pre-market, trying to build up that P&L as much as I can, one base hit at a time, and then if I
Sure.
catch a runner, then great, I'll caught a runner. So that's kind of how my trading day usually goes. So yeah, I mean, I've sort of streamlined the process a bit more now. I'm not just trading randomly. I do sometimes get the urge to trade when I'm in the office, and I've put it in the group a few times of how badly that's gone.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not. I don't touch that
Yeah, that's
anymore.
great that you recognize that. I used to have this habit of waking up in the morning, looking at my phone and seeing and just placing trades
Yeah,
from my phone. And sometimes it would go well, but half the other times I would get stuck in a terrible trade. So,
yeah.
the obvious solution was just stop.
Just stop doing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
not. Yeah, it wasn't a smart idea the first time.
yeah.
It's not going to
Like
be
I love
the second
trading, but
time. Yeah,
not to my own detriment. I'm here to make money and
exactly.
I
It's
have
a
my best
business.
results when I have my
Yeah,
specific trading window and I stick to it.
yeah. I fully agree with you. You have to
Yeah,
treat it as a business.
exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, you're very active in the community. How has being a part of a serious trading community impacted your trading?
Yeah, I mean, it's to be fair, I didn't think community was important before I actually joined the group.
Mhm.
I think it's because I was never part of a of a community that was really all that helpful. Most
Hmm.
of the communities I've been to has just been look at live stream if they're doing it, or look at all the recordings, and that's just about as much help as you're never going to actually hear from the person who did the trading
Mm.
most of the time. So when I first joined this community, it was a very pleasant surprise because you were very active. I wasn't expecting to get an answer back from you, like
Hmm.
within the hour, or within like really quickly.
Yeah.
He'll probably reply tomorrow or something like that, if he even replies. So that I got to ask a lot of good questions that really helped me get to a payout quickly. Learn the system really quickly through that as well. And also, not to mention all the other great traders, they're also very, very active in the community. Most of the time they're in the lounge, right? So I can actually just pop in there, ask them
Right.
a question, or trade with them, and pick their brains. Oh, why do you do that? Why do you do that? And that really helped me, spot my own flaws, and then ask how to fix them as well. So
Yeah.
I got that very important feedback. And another thing, it kept me accountable. Um, I did, I hate posting in the group chat in the profits if in the profits chat saying, "Oh, I lost these accounts because
Yeah,
I'm
no, everybody dreads that. Yeah.
I hate doing it." So
Yeah.
I
How are
try
those
not to.
accounts going, Mustafa? Because you've been sharing them, so everybody knows you
Yeah,
have them.
exactly. Yeah. And it always a sting when you when you have to say, "Oh, I actually lost them because I
Yeah,
was being an idiot." And yeah, it's helping keep accountable,
for
and
sure.
stay more disciplined with my trading.
Yeah. You've also been very helpful to newer traders and people new in the community. And for that, I thank you. But also, I think it helps
Yeah,
people become better traders. I think helping
I
others
yeah
helps solidify our own understandings. And, I believe it makes us better, not just people for helping others, but also better traders. It solidifies the
yeah.
concepts and concepts in our minds, so to speak.
I 100% agree
Mm.
with you on that one. The last stage of learning is, you teaching other people. If
Mhm.
you're really that confident, that something, you're confident to, tell it to someone else.
Right.
So yeah. I mean that part has helped me a ton. Not to mention the market recaps as well. I always I get people picking my brain. Oh, why do you enter in that? Why did you
Hmm.
do this? And yeah, I mean it's helped me, develop that train of thought of, oh, why
100%.
why did why did I do that? And obviously that's going to show up in your trading as well, because it's there subconsciously as well. You know you're talking about, you're thinking about it. So
And,
yeah. I
I
mean,
always recommend people to do their own recaps, right? Take the chart,
I
sit down,
yeah
and you've taken that to heart by providing it to the community, but everybody should still sit down and look at the charts and then compare them, right? I love it when I do mine and you do yours and they're almost identical. What does that tell
yeah
you, about a trading system when we could have something that
yeah
closely mimics each other because we're looking for the same things? Now, obviously, it's in hindsight, but this is where it starts, right? If you can recognize it and see it on this chart, it makes it easier to be able to see it coming in real
yeah
time.
yeah. You're kind of training your eyes to see it.
Exactly.
The more you look at it, the more you can recognize it.
Hmm.
That pattern recognition. You're
Yep.
training it.
So, you just had a birthday, right? 21 years
Yeah.
old. Happy
21
birthday
21
to you.
years.
We're
Thank you
lucky
very
to have
much.
you in our
No,
group. And
thank you for having me. Yeah.
yeah, you did great. You got yourself a nice payout. You just won a top one account giveaway for
Yeah,
your
yeah.
birthday. So lots of good things happen. What do you see for your future, Mustafa? What do you see for your future as a trader?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I obviously the dream is to go full time.
Mhm.
Get comfortable in trading live account as well. I want to do that. And just keep at it. I enjoy trading for what it is. I don't. I like the process of trading. I like the potential of it. I'm just completely engulfed in it. So I think this is going to be what it's going to be my future for a long time. And yeah,
I don't always, I mean, I believe it will be, I don't just say that
I
lightly.
thank you for saying that.
I
It
believe in
gives
you. I
me a lot of
really do.
confidence. It gives me a lot of confidence, going
Mhm.
forward. And I also believe, I'm at that almost stage that
Yeah.
they've mentioned in the book. I'm almost there.
And
I
there
can
will be
see
setbacks,
what
right? There'll be days.
I expect it.
I mean,
We
even
hope
after
it
as
goes.
long as I've been doing it, Mustafa, I still have days where I'm like, can I do this? Do I even know what I'm
Yeah,
doing? Like
yeah.
it's mind blowing, right? But those are the tricks our mind plays on us. It's crazy
It's
after a bad day or even a bad week or 2 weeks. It can drag
yeah,
you down, but that's what's part of the path. It will happen and it happens to everybody and it continues to happen.
yeah. Yeah, but I love trading, so
Yeah,
if it happens, it happens. I'll stick with it anyways. So yeah,
cool. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to sit down with you and talk about your successes thus far, and we'll be following closely as you continue to develop as a trader, and we're just
thank
lucky to
you.
have you a part of our group.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thank you for all the effort that you put in the community. And you're doing some really good changes to people's lives here. I think you're gonna, this is the start of this community. I think it's gonna go a lot higher.
It's
It's
very
gonna
exciting.
be.
I'm here for it.
Uh, I'm very excited for the journey ahead for
Awesome.
everything.
Well,
Thank you,
thanks so
Chris.
much,
Thank you.
Mustafa.